In this video, we're going to construct a golden spiral. It's possibly one of the most iconic and recognizable geometric curves of all time. This is the finished 3D model, and in this video we'll look at how to construct the sketch that makes this model. It's called the golden spiral because the relationships between line lengths in this drawing reflect what's called the golden ratio. Put very simply, the ratio of this length to this length is the same as the ratio of this length to this length. These ratios have been a guiding principle for many designers over many centuries. We won't go into the maths here, let's just get straight into it. You'll notice that as I zoom in, the spiral just seems to continue forever, and that's because it does. It also does the same in the reverse direction. Apart from being a good thing to know about and use as a starting point for design solutions, the golden spiral also forms a very useful drawing exercise for drilling basic CAD techniques. It's a good way to practice and get faster with your modelling. You can of course do this on any CAD app. I'm going to quickly hide this sketch and start again. We'll select the top plane to draw on. You need to start with a square. You can start with any size you like. To make things simple, I'll start with 100 by 100. Either draw 4 sides at 100, or draw a rectangle of 100 by 100 using the diagonal option. Let's try it that way. It can be 100 anything, inches, millimeters, bananas, as long as it's a number. And you can see we now have started a second sketch. From here, the first part of the construction uses a circle from this midpoint to this corner. Then draw a line from this corner to this quadrant of the circle. Then continue up to make a rectangle. With Shapr3D, you can approach this corner to trigger the apparent intersection. Shapr3D will assume that you want to draw to a point that intersects at 90 degrees to this line. Make sure the vertical line you just drew is exactly 100. Then connect that endpoint to this corner. Then do the same at the bottom. At this point, we don't need the circle anymore, so you can delete it. You need the square, but take a look at this. There's your first golden rectangle. Now focus on this point. Draw a circle from this corner as the center to this radius point. We only need this quadrant, so select the trim command and trim off the bits we don't need. Then draw a circle from this endpoint to this radius point. Then draw a line from this intersection to a point perpendicular to this line. The perpendicular constraint will show, confirming that it is actually a perpendicular connection. We don't need the circle now, so delete it. Now draw a circle from this center to this radius. We only need this quadrant, so use the trim command to trim off the bits we don't need. Can you see what's happening? There's a beautiful tangent point being formed here. Let's continue. Now draw a circle from this center to this radius point. Now draw a line from this intersection to a point perpendicular on this line. We don't need the circle anymore, so let's delete it. Now draw a circle from this center to this radius point. We only need this quadrant of the circle, so use the trim command to trim off the bits we don't need. Now draw a circle from this center to this radius point. Now draw a line from this intersection to a point perpendicular to this line. We don't need the circle anymore, so delete it. Now draw a circle from this center to this radius point. We only need this quadrant of the circle, so use the trim command to trim off the bits we don't need. Now draw a circle from this center to this radius point. Now draw a line from this intersection to a point perpendicular to this line. We don't need the circle anymore, so let's delete it. Now draw a circle from this center to this radius point. We only need this quadrant of the circle, so use the trim command to trim off the bits we don't need. Can you see what's happening here? Continue this pattern for a few more revolutions until you see the spiral really working. I'll turn the first sketch on again to superimpose it on the second one, and you can see how the spirals match up perfectly. Now let's turn this thing into a 3D model. I'll turn off that first sketch again. Using the second sketch, let's rotate around a bit to get a perspective view. For this next part, we don't need the straight lines, so we can delete them. Select the trim command, and then select the straight lines. And we're left with this beautiful spiral. Using the offset command, offset each section 2 mm. Using the line command, join up the ends. We now have a region that can be extruded. Exit the sketch, and let's extrude this up 20 mm. What we have here is a spiral made up of quarter circles that goes on forever in both directions, smaller and larger. Now, if it's a golden spiral, let's make it golden. Navigate to the visualization space. Select a gold finish, and then go to a darker exhibition space. You can see I'm in a dark one at the moment, but if I select a lighter one, you can see that the gold color doesn't look quite as striking. I reckon that looks awesome. And that's how you create a golden spiral. You can make it as long or as short as you like. It just depends on how many repetitions you want to go through. If you found this video helpful, then hit the like button, leave a comment or question, and consider subscribing for more tutorials like this one. And we'll see you next time.